tune there from Bumpy called Overdrawn. She joins me in studio right now. Good morning, Bumpy.
Oh, good morning.
It's good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
You got a bit on this week, don't you?
It is a bit crazy. I'm not quite ready to say that it's Monday.
For sure. You got a couple of amazing shows happening, one on Friday, one on Saturday. Let's start with the one on Friday. Mm-hmm. You're the First Nations artist in residency for the Melbourne International Jazz Festival. Mm-hmm. The project kind of kicked off last year and is sort of about to come to a crescendo at the end of this week, but then also sort of cruising through into a little bit of a tour as well. Mm. Tell me about what it means to be the First Nations artist in residency at the Melbourne International Jazz Festival.
Oh, it's such an honour, really. I've always loved working with the Melbourne International Jazz Festival and the Australian Art Orchestra. I've idolised their work and their craft for a really long time. And it was kind of super surprising. You know, I just applied and pitched this show, which was all about, I guess, revival and going back to Noongar, which is my spirit country, my homeland, with my mum, talking about, you know, not going over for sorry business and going over for joy and language. And they extended it to actually be 2 years, so it's been a really long time in the making. We've gone back, kind of really sat and processed this, and now written a show in response to that trip.
That's so good. Tell me a little bit more about that trip. It's so nice that you took your mum with you.
Yeah.
Sort of what went down? How long were you out there for?
I think it was just over 3 weeks or so. My mum actually, grew up on a mission in Noongar, which is like South WA.
Yeah.
And one of my nannies wrote the first Noongar dictionary, and she's passed now. So it was kind of, I grew up on Gunai country, which is Gippsland in Victoria. So I guess it was a lot of that reconnection of, going back with mum to where she grew up and the mission days, and then also going back and seeing our aunties and all of our nans and talking about language and yarning to all the mob who worked with Nan, and speaking about revival and getting as many resources as we could. We looked into our apical ancestry and our exact native title claim of where that specifically is, the area that our people are from. So it was a lot. I kind of came back to Naarm and was like, whoa, how do I write a show about all of this?
For sure.
Where do you start?
Does the dictionary that Nan wrote come in handy for things like this? Is it sort of like a nice little reference piece? And it's so nice that it's in the family as well, sort of the person that compiled and put it together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's what a legacy, and so amazing. We found some old tapes that actually have a lot of liaising with elders and just having yarns through and doing all the consultations. So hearing those old stories of them actually getting all of the knowledge and the language and putting it into the book, it feels really special and sacred. And I think it's just been so beautiful that this residency could work alongside it and support all the work that's not only happening musically but for me personally.
Yeah. So when you finally return from this trip and sort of come back and it's time to get stuck into sort of, putting this experience sort of into a show and into a body of work, where do you start?
This is a really good question. I didn't for a really long time.
Just kind of get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back.
I was like, I'm just going to let it seep for a little bit. I'm not really sure how to dive into it. And I think, obviously I kind of figured, well, it's never going to be an overnight thing, and I think I'm forever going to be processing it all. But I did journal while I was over there, so that actually came in. It was really handy. I just kind of reread, and it transported me right back. And I just picked moments that I really felt strongly about right now and wrote music about it.
So good.
Yeah.
And then sort of even outside of sort of a language perspective, in a musicality sense, what do you take from a trip like that, and sort of how has the landscape and your experience has sort of influenced the sort of musicality of it all as well?
I guess there were specific songs. I wrote one called Mambakur, which means ocean, and it was the first time that I re-entered my saltwater country over there, and so I really tried to, I guess, musically capture what that sounded and felt like. And it was really dramatic and windy when it happened, and so just thinking about place and how that can be articulated is really fun, and really fun to work with the art orchestra, because they're just all over that.
All over that sort of experimental textural elements.
I can get all whimsical and they'll execute it so beautifully.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If you have just tuned in, we've got Bumpy in the house playing a show as a part of the Melbourne International Jazz Festival called Toonie at the Arts Centre Fairfax Studio this Friday. You should get on down and check out what we're talking about right now. Let's come back to the Australian Art Orchestra. What a wild collaborator to have on board with this. How did that sort of come about? And is something working with an organisation like that something you'd been thinking about for a little while?
I mean, I've always admired their work. The residency is partnership with both of them, so it's the Art Orchestra and Jazz Festival. So they were kind of there to support in whatever way, it appeared throughout the show. So I'm playing with Aaron Chulai and Tamara Murphy and Joe Talia on the drums, and then some people from my band, Mick Power and Isadora Loritz and Emma Volat, are going to be in the band for the night. So it's this beautiful kind of concoction, but I think, just working with them and understanding what it looks like inside of the art orchestra and what they try to achieve with shows as well, and how we can balance that presenting to a new year. It's
fantastic. And so you've been deep in rehearsal mode over the last little while or so, sort of getting this ready for Friday?
Yeah, we've got a few intense ones this week, some day-long ones, so it's going to be good to massage it all in. It's been in big rehearsal mode lately.
And then you were telling me off air before you're about to head over to the UK with this group of people to do the show over there as well?
Yeah, that's right. So it'll be my full band that are playing on Saturday to the UK, but after that the AAO will be taking us to Japan in December to present
sick.
Toonie. Yeah, so it's kind of both projects happening at once at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then let's talk about Saturday's show. What's it like when you get the phone call that you're getting to open up for the great man himself, Mr. Herbie Hancock? That's got to be a very cool moment in anybody's life.
It was so bizarre. I actually remember where I was because I was in a green room in Sydney, and they didn't give me a scan card, so I couldn't actually leave my green room. So I was there for like 3 hours.
Being held prisoner in the green room.
I was there for like 3 hours, and then I got this email come through, and I'm just like sitting there in this room by myself being like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Who am I? It's just so amazing. Never would I have thought that I would share a stage with such a legend and someone that, we all look up to, and has just, I have no words. I still can't really comprehend it, but I'm just so excited and honoured to share that stage.
It's going to be pretty cool. That's going down on Saturday at the Sydney Myer Music Bowl. But you can also see Bumpy present her original performance of a new commission work by the name of Toonie at the Fairfax Studio at Melbourne Arts Centre on Friday. I'll put all the links for that in today's show notes as well. Bumpy's also brought her guitar in, going to be playing for us in just a moment. And while you get set up, I think I might play a little bit of waiting game. And then you can jump on the mic and do your thing. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
This is Bumpy right here with Waiting Game. Bumpy there, and a tune called Waiting Game. It is 22 minutes past 8 o'clock here on The Breakfast Spread, and Bumpy joins us in the house. Got a couple of shows happening for the Melbourne International Jazz Festival coming up this weekend, but also about to perform live for us here in studio. What are you going to start off with?
I'm going to start off with a track called Return Home, which I did release a couple of years ago, but it kind of it was the door opening to this whole experience, I would say, because through this commission for the show on Friday, I did return home, and, more music has now been written because of that experience.
Awesome. Bumpy, take it away.
Sit alone. It's a company I call my home. Say it loud, tell me who I am. If the stars could speak, I might understand. Accept it now, for it has changed. I hold on to my sacred name. Still here with eternal love. I feel your gaze from up above. Oh, I feel the stories that we couldn't speak of, and I feel your power flowing through my blood. But I don't know my native tongue. In a quiet space I become numb. I'm hopeful that one day I'll know that my watery eyes will return home. When my eyes are closed, I understand. I come from water, I come from land.
And we're very lucky to have Bumpy in the house for us right now. You're going to perform something from the show on Friday now, are you not?
Yeah, that's right. This song is called Untangling, and I guess, as we were yarning before, it's about the fact that it's not something that I'm going to process instantly, and I think it was really interesting that, you know, we went over there looking for all these, you know, yarns and resources and connections, and you go over there and there's no one spot that you can access all these stories or these books from. You know, language changes within a couple of kilometers from each other, so really uncovering exactly where your lines are is something so hard. And I kind of came back home and I was like, my best, you know, resources and my best way of learning is just from my mom and my nan, of people who lived through it, and just, yeah, talking to our elders. But you also really realize there's not much left, and the urgency of doing this work right now is really important. And somebody said to me while we're over there, it's never lost, it's just waiting to be found. I think that's really sat with me.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, this song is called Untangling.
Take it away. Bumpy in the house here on PBS This Morning.
Hope is holding everything I feel inside. I ache for the way you down, never lost, yet to be found. If nothing else reappears, at least I was here. It's in